Now, in some dojos you'll see the hand offered like this. And the notion is that he's stopping me drawing my sword. Well, nowadays we don't tend to be allowed to carry around swords. I know this is ludicrous. I'm all for it. So, looking at it in a more practical way for today's market, he's coming towards me and I threaten his face. So he automatically tends to defend his face. Now the point is, I don't do it so quickly that he can't do anything about it. I let it be seen. Now that automatically puts him on the back foot, but he's still fairly strong. So let's suppose that he is strong and I feel him wanting to push that down. I let it go and I move to safety. I turn. So this is about being sensitive to what's happening and switching technique. He's pushing, coming in, pushing. So just doing that slowly once. So here we are. I detect that he's strong and I haven't moved sufficiently. So I can feel the push. So I need to change the technique. I should be stepping in. And this is how I'm cutting away. Once again, it's not arm waving. I'm not doing that. This is in my centre, and I'm stepping in, cutting out with the finger in front like that. Tenkan, and I'm doing Irimanagi, sadly. Okay, we'll try that doing Kodayesh, which is what I wanted. So we'll try again. So he's pushing, and I simply let it go to there. Open him up, do it. So you can do Irimanagi or Kodayesh, whichever you feel is most so offered. So I grab and push. So this might be considered a bit rude in a dojo, but from a self-defense perspective and from the point of view of making Aikido practical, it's something which you perhaps want to learn. Now, having said that, I put my hand up, he's solid. That's not necessarily a problem even for Ikkyo, but okay, he's pushing. So I have to absorb. So clearly there's no point in me trying to just sort of muscle my way through. You know, he's determined, he's damned awkward, okay? So now just relent a little. But he's pushing forward. So there. So the minute I feel the resistance, I'm absorbing it. I'm still doing Ikkyo, but I'm absorbing it. Now just one more watch point. When I'm doing this, he has another hand free. So he can't hit me at the moment, but if I turn like this, he might have a knife, practically. So when he pushes, just show that once more, you can see, perhaps the other hand might be a bit better. You see that when he goes, at no point do I let him get close enough with that hand. So, push. So that's another thing that you need to be aware of. So your turn. So So it's really, this is actually blending. Him holding it and then setting and me just pushing back as hard as I can. We are not blending. Him pushing, me absorbing and turning him, we are blending. Now there are other ways of doing things as well. I can have the intention of, as he takes, I drop. Now I'm doing it intentionally. Now he's going to take, so I drop. Right, so you. So we're switching technique here. Somebody's expecting something to happen up here. You know, they're expecting a tussle. They're expecting to knock your hand down, step in and whack you on. That's their plan. You're sensing this, you're feeling it, and so you're changing it. So in a way, I'll just check it's still going. Yep. So a lot of the techniques we do, they're automatically a switch in a way, because if he comes at me with a showman and my Ikkyo is defective, then I switch to a Sankyo. Or if we're practicing a little bit more softly, I get into there. Basically, my Ikkyo hasn't worked, so now I switch to a Sankyo. Yeah. If I do this, no. So you're coming in unsuspecting, basically. You're coming in with a committed attack, and I correctly perform the technique. I don't need to switch. If he's coming in with and I haven't performed the technique properly, then I switch to Sankyo possibly. So you're doing these switches anyway, but you can do them more consciously. For instance, suppose you start here, takes the hand down, I do Ikkyo, and he's awkward or something, I can go into Shihonage. So you want to practice the drill of doing this. It's quite simple. Now, it doesn't quite work. Reverse up. Use your elbow. The thing is, it shouldn't cost you any thought. Sorry, that's something else altogether. It didn't cost me any thought to do that. That's a heck of a lot. Okay, so your turn. So you'll have an unsuccessful Ikkyo. Switch. Maybe it's even a successful Ikkyo. Into Kobayashi. The point is that by switching technique to a practical situation, say, you can put the person wherever you want them. If I do this, I get Ikkyo, my options are limited, and he's actually thinking of countering, I can tell. So yes, there are counters, which is why you don't want to hang around too long. So bang, no time to counter. There we are. So no time to counter. You can stop the countering, which there was another video on countering and stopping technique if I do this. And I struggle now. You see this all the time. He just counters. Obviously we wouldn't do that to a beginner, but Aikido is so much more fun than you might imagine. There are so many more crafty little bits in there that make it really intricate once you get off the ground. But you've got to get off the ground and you've got to train imaginatively, think out the box.